Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and today we have actually an exciting video about racing in Star Citizen. I checked it out before, and I really wasn't that much enthusiastic about the theme because I'm not that much of a race enthusiast in Star Citizen right now. But what I'm seeing in this episode of Inside Star Citizen is actually starting to get me interested, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, first, we have a little segment here of the Snake Pit, which is this racetrack that came up with 3.17.2, and it was inspired by the community. I believe it was from Atmo Esport or Black Maze, one of those guys who found this track on Clio, and they eventually turned it into some kind of event that inspired the developers to create a something a little bit more fleshed out, and that's really something that I personally like to see, you know, when the community is inspiring new content for the devs to make. Now, this is also going to have its own map in Arena Commander in 3.18, and that is perhaps one of my biggest grieves with those so-called racetracks that exist out there in the verse, is that they don't have much interaction when it comes to UI or events. So having something in Arena Commander is going to make those racing a little bit more organized, a little bit more fun, with some in-game music, in-game UIs, in-game announcers. And I can't wait to be checking this out. Now, we're gonna have a little bit more extra footage here when it comes to having a look at the pit. And you can see this is how it looked like before, and originally it was just one of those areas that was procedurally generated by the tech, and this is how it looks like after. So here the devs did explain that they were trying to do that as a side project without taking that much extra time, and all the assets that we get to see in this particular racetrack were actually assets that already existed in the past. So that's why it was a sort of low effort way to create something quite awesome out of the existing location that was, again, procedurally created, but then which was eventually given some handmade content from a developer, and the result is actually quite fascinating, and I can't wait to see how it's going to be playing out in Arena Commander. But that's not the only thing, guys. We are also in for a surprise in 3.18, and we're going to check it out right now, and this time with the sound of the episode of Inside Star Citizen, because this is really something that I was not expecting. So let's check it out.
When we finished working on Siege of Orison, my leads approached me and told me about those convention halls, that they are most of the time empty in between the events. And
now, that's actually true. Nobody goes to those convention centers, which actually look pretty awesome. I'm thinking of the one on R-Corp as well, which is a very nice, cool-looking building. The Vision Center here on Horizon as well, no one's going there, and it's kind of a waste because especially those conventions seem to be rotating from one place to another, one planet to another year after year, and then they're just not used for an extended period of time. So it's great to see content being added there for people to return.
We should fill it with something fun for the player. We collected some ideas.
Now look at that. How awesome is this, guys? An actual kart race. This is so cool. This is so cool. It looks so flashy and cheesy, but at the same time quite adorable, and something that looks like a lot of fun just going there. I wonder where it is. It looks like it's some kind of it looks like it's on the roof.
Decided to go for a buggy racetrack.
This is
when we started
cool.
We didn't want to take this go-kart track too serious.
Good, that's very important, because usually, you know, go karting should not be too serious. Most people practice go karting for fun. Now, sure, there are going to be people out there who will be doing this seriously. I'm pretty sure we're going to see actual competitions and tournaments and events, but most people will be going there for fun, and it's good that they keep that in mind.
We wanted to make something.
Now, look at the map. This is also quite, so let's see. Looks like this is the entrance here where people will be parking their ships perhaps, and there is the start. So it goes this way, and then there's a little turn here and straight with a little hairpin, and that's going to be a pretty fast section over there with a pretty fast big turn, and then it's going to be a slow again with a straight. Okay, this is, and I like the fact that it is mingled and that there's going to be bridges. Apparently, there's also going to be jumps too as well. Look at this, like a little loop. Very cool, very cool. And it probably will not be a very big area, but because it is so intertwined like this, it's going to be a pretty long track.
Colorful and playful.
And there's even a podium.
Our main inspirations were obviously a very popular racing game.
Now, by the way, I like how this looks like. Could this be a preview or some kind of use of the roads asset that we are going to be seeing eventually further down the line in Star Citizen? Now, I'm not talking about those little colorful stripes on the side, but I'm talking about the asphalt itself, or whatever surface that is. That looks like a very decent road that eventually could be used in the future for ground vehicles in Star Citizen, from going from one place to another. And I really hope that it is, because roads are desperately needed, and if they have those assets, why not creating racetracks as we are seeing here?
We took also inspirations from laser tag, those black lights, paintball arenas, stuff like that.
I like those little tunnels
so I
there.
had 3 weeks in total to finish the whole racetrack, from the first idea to the final product. It was basically a one-man project.
Now, what I hope is that eventually steering wheels will be eventually something that will be compatible with Star Citizen, because try to play the buggy with mouse and keyboard, it's not fun. Try playing the buggy with a joystick, it's not fun either. So I guess that there's the gamepad controller that some people are using, and that's eventually a likely possibility. But if they could make Star Citizen compatible with steering, I know some people have tried to play Star Citizen with steering wheel. I tried to. It's not that great. But for these kind of events, especially if you want to be a little bit competitive, that could be a lot of fun.
I tried to make the racetrack as modular as possible, so I created a few of those racetrack pieces and just put them together in a way that it's fun for me to play it.
Okay, so these are actually racetrack pieces he created, but I'm pretty sure these could be used for roads in Star Citizen. Why not just limiting, I mean, these items have been created, why not just limiting them to racetracks? We can use them, to make roads from one outpost to another, or one part of Lorville to another, or one part of New Babbage to another. Just, especially, they look like pretty decent roads, like you would find, especially like those little white lines here, like those you would find in countries like France, for example, or the UK. Just keep them.
My favorite part of the racetrack is probably where you have to jump over
Now,
a ramp.
this is super cool. And it reminds me a lot of the little mini racetracks that people created for themselves in the hangar back in those days in 2013, if you guys remember. CIG actually had jumps for us to jump over our spaceships back in the hangar in 2013. And I don't know if this was intentional or not, but this reminds me of that. And if it is, it's a very nice little nod to these old times.
We have been testing the racetrack internally, and it's already a lot of fun.
It is super cool. Oh no, the wheel's broken. Now, what I hope here are the things that I hope and that I want to see at the racetrack. First, we need to be able to spawn all ground vehicles there. So I hope that it will be possible to spawn, gray cats, but not just that. Why not dragonflies as well? I could totally see dragonflies being flown here at very low altitude as well, providing the fact that we can actually go under those arches, of course. We need also to have paints for the gray cats, because they're all white, they all look the same. But if we could have actually paint jobs, so we can have teams, or that we could easily differentiate ourselves, I think that this also could be something really cool. And I'm pretty sure that they would sell a lot of those paints. Plus, if there are racetracks for buggies, people will want to have buggies, and if there are paints, they are going to want to buy some paints to differentiate themselves as well. Have a little workshop also at the racetrack too, so that we can change our paints on the spot without having to go back to Cousin Crows, for example. That could also be a good idea.
The physics of the gray cats is something we are looking into, because we also had a loop-the-loop, but the Grey Cats were not fast enough to take it, so we had
Oh
to cut it
no.
out. But in the future, we hope that we can put it in.
But how would that even work with gravity? It would have to get artificial gravity. Anyway, this is super cool. I love this here. But yeah, not very realistic. I don't know how that's gonna work. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think of Grey Cat racing in Star Citizen. Is this something that you would actually take part of? Well, if you answer the question and subscribe to the channel in public settings, you can get to win an Envil Centurion. Also, we got 2 more Envil Centurions on Discord. All you have to do is to join our Discord. You have the link in the description down below, and enter our video sharing contest, or be a backer on Patreon on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to seeing you guys on the track one day in 3.18, right? It's been the Eradicator. Thank you so much to Dr. Fobin, Captain Steak, Erico, Geek Citizen, and the Digital. I will see you guys later.